Sometimes in life you just have to take a risk, and I think when it comes to haymaking that happens quite regularly. This is the moment that I realised one of our highland cattle had escaped, because this is one of ours, but it's not our land, so I don't know how it got here. So I have found this. We are just checking the weather forecast for the 20th time in the last 24 hours. We've taken the liberty of putting the mower back on this lunchtime, and we think we're just going to mow a field for small bales. We couldn't get everything done in the last window of time, so we've just got a little bit more to do. So are we going to go for it, Nick?
I think we are. It's a tiny bit of rain. Only a little bit.
Sometimes in life you just have to take a risk, and I think when it comes to haymaking that happens quite regularly. So we're going to go for it. The sky's looking a bit moody, but it's been like that most of the day really. So it's time to go. Friday the 2nd of August today, and it's a lovely morning. Sun is up again. And we started moving bales yesterday from that heap, which was bales made last year, to this heap here, which is all bales made last year, so that we can move the new bales into the new heap, and then we're not putting new in front of old. Yesterday we hardly got any rain really. I think some areas of the UK had really heavy forecasts. I think it went all around us in the Peak District, but we only had about 10 minutes of rain. So we pretty much missed the rain. So we decided to cut another field, which we're going to make into small bales. So having decided to cut that field, I now hope it doesn't rain for 3 days at least. So we're going to turn it twice today. That's the plan. It's 6 o'clock at the moment. I'm just checking around the water and the animals, make sure everyone's got what they need, wait for the dew to go off, and then we'll go and ted the hay out, and it's another gorgeous day. And you can actually see our bales there in the distance, in the mist. But the rather calm and peaceful morning was brought to an abrupt end, because I was looking across to the field beyond and I saw a cow on its own. So I thought I'd go and investigate a bit closer, and I realised it's one of our young highland steers. I'm currently counting highland cows because we've lost one. Pretty good views up here. So I'm just looking along the fence line see if there's any evidence of anything having got out or damage. So I have found this. So if this gap is where he's got out, it's not going to be easy to get him back. And to make it more complicated, there isn't a gate anywhere near this area and anywhere along this particular fence line. So it's not going to be straightforward just to get him back in where he should be. And he's just standing near the road, looking over the road to where some other cows are. Every gate seems to be locked. So I'm trying to reach the people that have the land to tell them and to ask them about keys and that kind of thing. But Nick's coming up with the car anyway, and he's bringing some electric fencing. So we're going to try and fence it in until we can come and collect it or something. Help has arrived. So the idea is to make an area. I was feeling a bit stressed at this point because I was worried that he was going to jump perhaps out of the field and onto that road, and it's a busy road. So I really didn't want him to jump out, but also needed to try and keep him contained because it's quite a big area. He could just go straying all over the place. So that's why we brought the electric fencing and then went back and grabbed the truck and trailer. So I definitely breathed a sigh of relief when we came back and saw that he was still there, because I was always a bit worried he might have got out. And that's the busy road, really quite a dangerous road. And then the next hurdle was getting him into the trailer. He's a year old and he's never been in a trailer before, but he did seem fairly calm. Nick and I had to just make a plan and hold our nerve and get him in, and we did. So couldn't film it because it was too difficult. I was a bit stressed. Managed to get him back in the trailer. First time ever into a trailer, I think. Got him in the trailer. So jobs are good and we can get him home. It's a bit of a mystery. How did he get out exactly? Why did he get out? Why did he leave the others and then just go roaming off like that? It just seems a bit unusual. So with Edwin safely in the trailer, I was feeling a big sigh of relief, but then still a bit worried that I'd been walking around for hours. You probably didn't see this from my filming, but been walking around for hours trying to locate all the cows and hadn't found them all. But on the way home, they were all just there by the gateway and they were all unharmed and fine. So big relief. So 3.5 hours after I discovered the cow was out, we were almost at the point to put him back in the field. And as we've got haymaking to do today and other jobs too, feeling pretty cheesed off, but relieved, I suppose, that he's not harmed. Livestock escaped or roaming around on the loose is definitely a dangerous and worrying situation. So when you can get them back safe and sound, that is a massive positive. We thought it'd be quickest and easiest to drop him off at the farm, put him in with the cows and calves, the new calves, because we had haymaking to crack on with. We wanted to get the hay turned twice, and so we really needed to get on with that and then come back to repairing the gap in the fence and checking the fence line after we'd got the hay turned. It really wasn't the morning that we had planned, but that's farm life for you, so just keep calm and carry on. After turning the hay, it was straight back up to bring some materials to patch up the hole we found in the fence. So I'm just back to checking the fence line this afternoon and patching up the gap that we found. And then back to the farm to let the sheep and lambs run onto some more nice fresh grass down near the campsite, which should keep them busy. So it is Saturday afternoon, the 3rd of August, and we've just brought the baler out from the back of the hay barn over there and greased it up and had a look at it and checked it over, and we're just getting ready to put the tractor on it and hopefully later today start baling. We're not 100% sure if we're going to bale today or tomorrow. The original plan was tomorrow, but if it is ready today, then we will crack on and do it. So we cut it on Thursday lunchtime, and it's been turned twice yesterday, once so far today, and we're going to see if it's ready to row up. There was a forecast of some rain. It was definitely looking dodgy last night and this morning, but we got away with it. We got away with it on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, when there was always a chance, a risk. So it would be great to get it baled, and that will bring a week or so of haymaking to a close. We've got the barn ready to get some hay up there. Last year we made about 300 small bales, so not a great number, but we are dealing with ancient equipment, so we don't want to overwork it. We want it to be able to keep using it. I'm getting on with the rowing up here, and Nick is back at the farm bringing the baler down. So we thought, again, to save time and work as efficiently as possible, we could get 2 jobs done at once. I can finish rowing up and he can start baling, because we were just aware that the weather could change at any time, and we wanted to try and get baled that day so that we could spend Sunday focusing on bringing the hay in. We made the hay quite quickly. There was always a bit of doubt in my mind if it was going to be ready, but I think it is ready. My Uncle Peter said when you start baling it, if the bales start to break and they're really heavy when they come out, then you'll know that it's not ready. But we thought it looks fairly good. It's nice and fluffy. I think the sort of colour and the dryness is right. So always really nervous at this point to start baling and hope that everything works. And if you've watched previous videos on this channel, there are historical videos with my dad showing this baler and talking about it. It's a 1968, I think, Massey Ferguson 20 baler, so that makes it around 55 years old, and it's been on the farm for 40 or more years, I think. So it is a vintage piece, and Dad was really proud of it and always really excited and nervous to use it, but also kind of part of the fun and the magic and the nostalgia of making hay, I think. So we've got some nice bales coming off. Happy with the size and the tightness and the weight of them and everything. So far so good. Just having a little sit down because Nick has almost finished baling and I have been stacking and my shoulders are sore. So I just need a little breather. And then I don't think we're going to collect them in tonight. I think we're collecting them in tomorrow. So hope the weather holds for that. And the counter says 339 bales made. And I've been making stacks. As you can probably see, today we're stacking this field and it's just the two of us. So we're just taking it steady, aren't we, Nick?
Yeah.
So bit by bit, we'll get the job done. This part of the journey is also tricky in itself because we have to drive out of a really narrow gateway. You can only turn down the hill and you have to go down the road to come back up and then to the farm. And last year we lost quite a few bales. I think a whole corner came off, and Nick was unsure if he'd made an error with the stacking. Some of the bales weren't so great, so we were going behind picking all these bales up afterwards. So this year I'm hoping that we're not going to lose any, and first trip it's going well so far. I've got my heart in my mouth at this point. Every turn, every corner, I'm just really anxious and hoping that things go to plan and holding my breath. So we've just got the first load of hay back up to the farm and we load it through the hatch. So this is our hay loft and this is where we're going to store the hay. We have got a bit left over from last year, a few bales. That's no problem. So it's just a case of getting organised, and yeah, we think there's probably about three loads to bring up because we're getting about 100, aren't we, per cart?
Yeah. It's a tiny bit of drizzle, but not much. It's fine.
And how are things progressing?
They're progressing all right. We got the first load back safely and in the barn.
So it's just Nick and I. We took it steady and we just worked our way through load after load, loading and unloading all Sunday afternoon, which is why we were glad that we had the time to do it. The weather was not the best, a little bit drizzly. It tried to rain for a few minutes, but nothing that was really going to cause any significant harm. And it was probably good that it wasn't blazing sunshine because it's hot work, it's tiring work, and probably a hot day would have finished me off.
Give me a sec.
Load 3, taking shape. This is what's left. We can do all our own stunts.
Yeah.
Winning the war, Nick. This was the worst stacked load by far. I did not have confidence in this end of the load, and you can see here the tricky gateway to get through. I take my hat off to Nick. He does all the driving at this point, and I'm really, really grateful to him for that because I just don't fancy that job myself, and he is pretty good under pressure. So my job here is to sweep up behind and catch any bales that may fall. I'm hoping that they won't. This is the view from standing on top of the hay cart. You need to have your wits about you. It can be a bit wobbly, but you get the view of the campsite across there. And my job to unstack the trailer, and I thought of using these planks of wood and sliding the bales down, which works better than just trying to throw them. So I just rest them at the top of the planks and they slide in. And then Nick is stacking in the hay barn. We're now on the last little sweep of the fields. We're picking up broken bales in the bag behind. We've literally just got a few to bring up to the farm, and then we're done! So with all the hay safely back at the farm, The final job was to put any loose hay from broken bales through the baler, and we thought, why not try the baler working with the 135, because it's been suggested that is the dream combination. So we did that. And then to finish, we always put a bale of straw through the baler, and then that sits like inside the working part, I think, just to kind of keep it dry. But yeah, that wraps up another year of the baler doing a good job for us, and then we can grease it up and cover it up and put it back in the barn for another year. And that's the end of the video. So hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you for watching. Bye.